team. So that's why we see the typical Williams colors on there. That's the fight again for 4th and 5th position, but also behind it's Zentkovsky and Jack Sedgwick fighting for 6th and 7th as the best Mercedes-AMG GT3. And also Cup 2 is now back on the start finish, and we see exactly the same picture. It looks like a mirror with Butler Pahl, Keanu Buschmann and Markus Jirak for 3h Racing fighting there. We see exactly the same picture we saw in the last race. And now it's Buschmann crossing the line here after the first lap in first position in Cup 2. Behind is Markus Jirak and René Kirchhoff in 3rd position. Now again also Jirak showing up into the mirror, but no real move on Buschmann. But again, very close and strong performance of the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars. And also here it's a little bit different to the real world. In the real world, some of the Cup cars, they have ABS system. Here it's like the real Cup car, no ABS, nothing. So it's quite difficult on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Even though it's a digital version of it. And you really have to be careful with the brakes and dray braking into the corners, that you do not lock wheels and probably destroy them. Because also here the tire model is quite special, as we have once you have overheating tires again, here you start sliding too much and losing a lot of time. Golombek knows how to use the tires, as he is coming over the line in first position after the first lap in front of Carstensen and Weibel. But Weibel and Valentini, Weibel in the grey Porsche Cayman and Valentini in the BMW, in the yellow and black BMW. They are also fighting there, and Carstensen, who's driver of the blue and white car of a Team RSO. He's now also under pressure, so you see it's always shifting back and forth between them. And now the pressure is on Carstensen, as Weibel could close the gap. And what we can see as well is that the runner-ups from the last couple of races and the last season as well, they are all also here up in front. As we go back to SP9 at the section of Steilstrecke and now Carousel, here following Denny Chiusa in 9th position. In front of him it's Nils Koch, and behind there for Schnitzelalm it's Jamo Hertling. And Hertling is sharing the car with Marcel Marcevic. So that's the fight for top 10. It looks like a little bit that Sedgwick in front is cannot follow the speed of Alessandro Bico in 5th position, so that's why we have that little jam here. Starting from Sedgwick, Sendkowski, they both changed positions once again, as we were not on there with the cameras. Behind there is, as I said, Nils Koch, Denny Chiusa and J-Mo Hertling. So that's the train you can see here at Pflanzgarten. That's the car of Jan Sendkowski, Hauptracing Team Heusingfeld. As I said, sharing the car with Mats Torge Hutzfeld and Adam Christodoulou, the real-world pro driver for Mercedes-AMG, just extended his contract with them a couple of weeks ago. And also one of the drivers having a contract for Sim Racing World there. In split screen, we are on board with René Kirchhoff, showing Thomas Asmussen, who is close to his rear bumper, trying to put pressure on Kirchhoff for Nürburgring Esports. And on the big screen, we can see a fight there. J-Mo Hertling made the move on Denny Chiusa, and as I said, in a slipstream, it's almost impossible to defend there. So J-Mo Hertling for Schnitzelalm now in 9th position, Denny Chiusa down to 10th. In front, that's Laurin Heinrich, and here the move of Kashuba. Steib tries to revenge on the outside here of turn number 2, both side by side, as we saw that in lap number 1. And now it's the better end for nobody at the moment. Still side by side, Kashuba on the right hand side with a black and white car, and the Williams colors and Male colors, green, white and blue. Here we see the car. That's Dominik Steib. So Steib stays in 2nd position, but Kashuba is putting pressure on him. While we see Laurin Heinrich just moving away. Over 6 seconds is his gap already, and sharing the car at this time again with Rainer Talva, new to the team since a couple of races. At his first race for BS competition here in the Digital Nürburgring Series as well. On board with Max Riedmüller in the Lamborghini, and just listen to it. Always fantastic to hear them driving. I mean, truly, it sounds like the Audi R8, but what is for me what is so impressive is how they drive. I know the track as I've been racing there for many years, and it's exactly how you drive with a little bit of lift off here and there, and using the curbs here and there, and not using curbs. It's very impressive to see them. And still, while we go back to the track cameras, we see that still Steib is under pressure of Kaschube. And it looks like that Kaschube can go quicker. But at the Nordschleife, so it's almost impossible, but here and there you can find places. As we go now down to the Breitscheid, and maybe after Breitscheid, where we will be next, at Bergwerk, there could be a place for overtake, but also the quick left-hander, in German so-called Mutkurve. It's also a place where you can, out of slipstream, try to make a move. But at the moment, now here, going into Bergwerk, at the moment it doesn't look like that Kaschube can make a move on Steib. But here, it's Schnitzelalm and keep on racing in the class SP3T. Maximilian Dehn and William Voss fighting there. And at the moment, the better end for Voss, but a little mistake from him. Still, he can stay in front, but also Max Montermann in his BMW M4 GT4 now closing the gap. So from the duo, it will be a trio. And there's a lot of pressure on Voss. And now in front of the chicane, but there he is too far away. Have to step back and have to give it another try. That's Dominik Steib. Hopefully all his hardware is working properly, because he had kind of problems in the past. You can see how he's sweating back in his simulator back at home. Kaschube in a little bit of trouble there, using the very much outside on the left hand side there, but still Steib wiping the sweat off his head and fully concentrated. You can see him working. I mean, there you can see it's hard work for the guys. You see all the force feedback and how the camera is shaking in his simulator, because force feedback is working quite heavily. So it's not sitting back at home on your sofa and driving a little bit of cars virtual. It's very much a lot of practice, a lot of effort they put into that, and truly you have to be fit to drive that. You see how he's breathing and sweating and swiping always the sweat off his head, and talking to his teammates for strategy and gaps. So they are discussing now the Döttinger as we do that in the real world as well. So discussing everything there, maybe saving fuel, how about the stints, undercuts, and so on. So it's very much impressive to see these guys in their simulators back at home. But Kashuba, he needs to make a move on the outside, out of the slipstream, but no way for him in his BMW M4 GT3. Steib is still in second position. Kashuba in third, and Riedmüller. Very strong performance of the guy from H&R by 5-star. Now he has to defend against Biko, late on the brakes. And Biko, he was too late on the brakes, touching Kashuba, and also Riedmüller was involved into that. Biko, he tried to make a move, but he was very, in my opinion, too late on the brakes and couldn't make the corner. And then, unfortunately, Kashuba was there and he touched him slightly on the rear right-hand side. But as we can see, that Kashuba is still in third position, but Sedgwick made the move. And he is now in fourth. And it should be Zentkovsky behind there. But here we see Steib now without any pressure anymore, because Heinrich is about 8 seconds away. And now there's a gap of 3 seconds now from Steib to Kashuba, Sedgwick, Zentkovsky. Here we see the replay. Biko tries to move going on the inside, on the dirt line, a little bit late on the brakes. And then on turning in, he was a little bit too fast still. Riedmüller crashing into there, couldn't avoid the contact with Biko. And then the whole field of the AMG GT3s and all the other cars just passing these two guys. So Riedmüller is now in 8th position and Biko in 9th. So most probably race control will have a look into that surely. While we see Riedmüller here, in my opinion, he couldn't avoid the contact. He was just a witness of the whole scene. But that makes it even more interesting now in front. As Sedgwick, out of cameras, made the move on Kashuba. Kashuba now only in 4th position. And Sedgwick now in 3rd position, the Mannfilter Team HCP Winward guy. And that's the helicopter view on the fight of Chiusa against Biko. Biko most probably has now problems with his car. There will be a damage on it, as you could see that Riedmüller crashed into there as well. So there will be maybe a minor damage on his car, and you can see it also in front. And the simulation iRacing is calculating that damage into a disadvantage, and that will have an effect on the driving of the car with number 186 from BMW Team Great Britain. All the cars, all the drivers and teams have one fast repair, so that means they can go into pit lane having the car repaired very quick, but after they used this fast repair, they have to come back the next lap into the pit lane and have a penalty stop for 5 minutes. So that's what they can do, but then truly they will be out of the fight for any good position after the 5 minutes penalty stop. But here we can see the fight in the SP10 class. Golombek, who went back to second position, as Niels Carstensen is now in front. So Carstensen, Golombek, and behind there it's Weibel. And Weibel tried to make the move at the end of the Düngerhöhe, Antonius Buche, but Golombek could defend his second position. But still, Carstensen, Golombek, Weibel, Valentini, Kelly, very close together. So that's the top 5 here in SP10 class. After 1 hour, which is a little more than 3 laps they did. And Golombek, maybe come back to him. He is the official Porsche driver in the Formula E Accelerate Championship. And so he's the official driver there as well, while Lukas Müller is also one of the Formula E drivers. That's Jamo Hertling. We see him in split screen in the green Mercedes AMG GT3, and him driving in his simulator. Jamo Hertling for Schnitzelalm at the moment in 7th position. Niels Koch in front of him and Max Riedmüller in the Lamborghini behind. And also here you can see how he's fighting, and with the car always counter steering, correcting, as these guys are on the limit. After a little more than half an hour, having a look into the overall classification, Heinrich, Steib, Sedgwick is the top 3, Kaschube, Sendkowski, Koch, Hertling we see here in the 7th position, Riedmüller and Chiusa in 9th, and Florian Denzler doing step by step his he's moving up into top 10 now already for Haupt Racing Team. Now the move, Riedmüller, we see him concentrating, making the move, going on the outside against Niels Koch. Koch on the inside with a BMW out of slipstream, and Hertling made the move. Now Hertling in 6th position, already gained 3 positions, so starting from 9th. And Niels Koch for BS competition back into 7th position. Here, that's the SP3T class, and as I mentioned already, so we have 6 cars in this class, and we have 4 of them fighting here, and that's the top 4, Kubinci, Luding, Bohl and Voiter. So Heusingfeld, Sim RC, then Frozen Speed, Full Send, and Sim RC again. That's the teams they are driving for. You can see that quite nicely with the typical Heusingfeld colors, the typical Sim RC colors in yellow and black, and also typical Frozen Speed Full Send in black and green. And I tell you, this if nothing major happening, this will not change until the end of the race. They will stay as close as they are together, and we'll just change positions in between. And that's so typical for SP3T class. Again, it's also the regular drivers we see there in front with Kobinci, Luding, Bohl and Voigte. The SP3T class with the Audi RS3 LMS, it's the slowest class we have here in the NLS, as we have in SP9 class with the GT3 cars around 8 minutes. Lap time we have here around 8 minutes 55, 52. So you see about 50 seconds per lap they are losing. So that means in a couple of laps the guys will start with lapping the different classes. But we do not lap the classes. We make the switch into SP10 with the Porsche Cayman GT4 Club Sport and the BMW M4 GT4. And there we are on the car of Manuel Weibel in third position. Carstensen still in front of Golombek and the already mentioned Weibel in his grey and orange Porsche Cayman. And here again, the same picture we are used to with not only the teams in front there, but also with the drivers, as we have, as I said, in front, Team RSO. Then we have with Marius Golombek the current the second position in the championship for Chorus Sim Racing. We are missing, or I am missing a little bit, while we see here Markus Jirak. We have Markus Jirak in his simulator. And I'm missing in SP10 class the BS competition car 389 with Marius Zug and Ryan Barneveld, because they are at the moment in a third position in the championship, but here they are not in the race anymore, but we are, and that's what we are looking on in the Cup 2 class. With Markus Jirak currently leading the Cup 2 class, and you see he's pumping and also very much concentrated. Now sharing the car with team owner, team manager, and also truly the driver Martin Ascher himself, the car. They are the ones to beat in Cup 2 class. They are always in front. Ascher Racing, very experienced racing team in sim racing. Also Jirak and Ascher themselves. At the moment, they have a gap of about a little more than a second to René Kirchhoff of Nürburgring Esports, and Thomas Asmussen behind there in third in Cup 2 class. But we go into 7th position with Nils Koch. And behind him we have Danny Chiusa 7th and 8th position in SP9 class. Giusa, it looks like, using the flasher, it looks like he could go quicker, which is quite interesting. As we saw that last time as well in the Rheinland 3-hour race, that BMW struggling a little bit to the end of their stint. And as we are now about 40 minutes in the race, and now Koch has to defend even more. So he is very much under big pressure of Danny Giusa. And just bring me back this idea that the BMWs, they are struggling a little bit to the end, as we have 40 minutes done, about 20 minutes, so 2/3 of the we have 2/3 of the race of the first stint done, while we are start lapping, or they are start lapping the SP3T class, and it looks like they still have struggles with their tires and maybe fuel management to the end of their stint. But now Hertling under pressure of Koch. Now, as Koch was under pressure of Giusa, Koch made the move on Jamo Hertling of Schnitzelalm and is now in the 6th position. So you see how quickly it changes from being under pressure while Hertling goes into pit lane. Hertling is doing the optional pit strategy, coming into pit lane earlier and do not have to do a late stop. So you can do both strategies, doing the full stand in the beginning and then a short stint in the end, or do it reverse. Hertling and Schnitzelalm decided to go out of traffic and go into pit lane quite quickly to have their to be out of traffic for now. We go out of traffic a little bit as well, as we have a short a break now, and but we do not leave you alone. We leave you with the pictures in split screen. It's time for you guys to still follow, and we will be back in a couple of minutes. It's about 5 minutes of break. I need a new drink, and then we are back here with the live pictures and hopefully the first pit stops of the race. Presented by Goodyear, and that's the fight at the NIMEX 3-hour race in class SP10. Marius Golombek making the move on the inside to the pit wall. And Niels Carstensen, the front runner in this class since about 2-3 laps, stays on the racing line behind there. That's Tom Valentini in the SMRC car, and Manuel Weibel in his Porsche. Now, a little mistake there from Golombek. And he is trying to overtake Carstensen. But Carstensen is also experienced enough to know exactly how to defend against Marius Golombek. So that's SP10 class, and as I said, Team RSO is leading the championship there. And that's the one I mentioned, Niels Carstensen. So they are leading in front of their current second positioned Marius Golombek together with Pascal Stix. Now again Golombek tries to move on the outside of the entry. What a move! What a move by Marius Golombek on the outside. I hope that the production is having a replay on that one. What a move! And Golombek now in the lead of SP10 class. Carstensen back to second. And in a replay we see here a little bit of contact while lapping, a little of misunderstanding, and again contact here. So class SP, it was SP9, SP3T, so there was everything together. But that's driving on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. I think it was a contact between Koch and one of the SP3T cars. So, but that's what we see at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Or maybe it was Kaschube. I'm not sure. Either it was Kaschube or Koch having contact with the SP3T car. But here, that's the fight. Danny Chiusa made his way to the front as we have now a new picture in front. It's Heinrich still 15.3 seconds in front of Sedgwick now. Then Zentkowski in third to the two Mercedes AMG GT3s. Then another Mercedes AMG GT3, Danny Chiusa, we see here in fight with Kashuba and Koch, the BMW M4 GT3s. And then we have Denzler. So it's quite interesting what happened to Steib. Most probably they were in pit lane. Let me check on the timing screen, because I guess as we had Marcevic, Biko and Steib in the pit lane, so that's why we have this picture. So just double check that. So Steib, Biko and Marcevic means Mahle, the BMW Team Great Britain and Schnitzel-Alm, they were in pit lane from SP9 class already. Everybody else was not in pit lane yet. And that's why you see the different strategies in this race. So 2 hours and 9 minutes still to go. So not even a third of the race done. What we see here from the outside, so there was Koch and Chiusa had contact, and then contact with the Frozen Speed full send car on the outside. It's Chiusa, 3 wide there, and the better end for Chiusa, and then another contact. So here Kubinci, Koch and Kubinci made contact. That is a shame. That's a pity for Kubinci, because they were in front of the SP3T class, so that's why we have also a new order there. But having a look firstly on or into SP10, so Golombek, Carstensen, and then we have Valentini. That's Marius Golombek. Relaxed as we see him always. He always looks quite relaxed sitting in his simulator back at home in his rig. What he has done is he changed the camera angle from left to right, but he is one of the very much experienced drivers, as I said, doing also the Formula E Accelerate Championship for Porsche, and is driving there also in sim racing. Here also surely within Porsche in the Digital Nürburgring Endurance Series. And then you see also the difference between the drivers. As Golombek is relaxed, we just saw Jamo Hedling and Dominik Steib. They look more exhausted. Doesn't mean that they are not fit enough, but they look more. It looks like they put more pressure in it. And then we have Markus Jirak, also seeing him. He was also quite stressed. So that's the difference. As you know, now that's the same picture as you see in the real race cars. The one who is relaxed or the ones who are more stressed, it's exactly the same picture. Here you can see the guys without a helmet, without a balaclava, see them driving here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So Golombek, second in the championship, together with Pascal Stix. Now in front of Team RSO, Niels Carstensen and Nils Lorenz, both Niels. They are leading the championship, but only by 1.8 points. So that means as there's a special formula with how many cars participating, the position you finished, and so on. So it's very close together. Then there's a little gap to BS competition, and BS competition is it looks like out of the race of the SP10 class with Rein Barneveld and Marius Zug. This is a Sim RC we are on board with, having a look on Frozen Speed Full Send. That's in a SP10 class. And drivers there. So it's Florian Beute we are on board with, and Lars Bohl behind. And that's a typical picture in slipstream, coming closer and closer together. But we do not only have the different class rankings, we also have a special classification. We have the Deutsche Payment, a so-called Deutsche Payment classification, where you count towards incidents, so contact with other cars, track limits, off tracks, fastest lap times, and so on. And it's an overall championship between all the classes, and you can win up to 1,500 euros per team, which is quite interesting. So it's not only up to the pure speed, it's also up to clean driving, fair driving. So it's a very nice idea from Deutsche Payment. They just made that championship, let's call it championship, for the new season. And it's quite special, as it is an overall championship, and we have Usher Racing there leading with 16 points, and Team RSO in second position, the SP10 car, and Team Heusingfeld, the SP3T car, in second position as well. So they are sharing that second position by 11 points, and 10 points for SimRC SP3T and Core Sim Racing, Golombek and Stick. So they can gain points and collect points for clean driving, as I say, or fast driving, or as the pure lap time. But it's up to many factors. And let's see who is getting this championship in the end of the season. That's not the end of the season. That's René Kirchhoff sharing his Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car of Nürburgring Esports together with Andy Gulden. Andy Gulden, he's one of not only the instructors, or the head instructor of the Nürburgring Academy, but he's also very much experienced in the Nordschleife and making his way in the sim racing more and more. And he's the guy, if Andy Gulden is not a name for you, you should have a look on YouTube. Formula car in snow on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. That's Andy Gulden. And if you tell me after seeing this video the guy cannot drive a car, I don't trust you anymore. But it's quite special what they've done. You just have to have a look in it. Nürburgring TV, they produced a quite nice video. It's a couple years ago, but you just should have a look into that. So that's the teammate of René Kirchhoff. Now we are in the lead of the race. Jack Sedgwick is leading now in front of Stendkowski and Koch, because Heinrich was in pit lane. Rainer Talva took over the car. So that's why we see the two Mercedes AMG GT3 in front, and a strong performance of these two cars, as well as of Danny Chiusa. But let's have a look. Chiusa was not in pit. No, he was not in pit lane, but he is in 9th position now. But here, as we have Sedgwick and Stendkowski, and Sedgwick is sharing the car with Ellis and Alexei Iloma. Tim Barnes in his Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car. And if I say Golombek looks relaxing, Barnes is even more relaxed. I mean, there's no pressure in front of him. 8th position at the moment in his class, and so he's almost driving by himself. Little more than 3 seconds of 30 seconds in front, 4 seconds behind. So there's no need for pressure and for stress, and he looks very much relaxed in his simulator. And Tim Barnes, number 210 Porsche 911 Cup car, Wolf Motorsport Sim Racing. He's sharing the car with Merlin Mark Wolf. And in the pit lane for him, smiling, most probably he get out of the car. Yes, taking gloves off, and Merlin Mark Wolf is taking over the car for the next stint, as we are a little over the first third of the race here at the NIMEX 3-hour race. Balisios Beleziotis is in 6th position with his M4 GT3 BMW. Keep on Racing, Aaron Wishin is the team. And Beleziotis is sharing the car with Jan Maszakowski. And they have to come into pit lane. Also, they were not in pit lane yet. And they are right behind the car I was missing. Carl Jansson, the Lamborghini of Core Sim Racing, now in 5th position. So also they are climbing up. While Sedgwick and Sendkowski now kind of not really teammates, but under the hood of Mercedes AMG. Truly, they, to have a chance against the BMWs, should not fight against each other. They have to come into pit lane, I guess now. Not I guess, they have to come into pit lane now. Otherwise, it won't last with the fuel capacity. And then we will have a clear view on the current standings. And we see how Rainer Talber, who took over the car from Laurin Heinrich, how he can, or if he could extend his gap, because it was more than 15 seconds, and Talber, he made a very nice debut in 2 races ago, together with Laurin Heinrich. Here's Sedgwick, the leader, lapping Schnitzelalm in SP10. Behind there is Sendkowski, 2 very, very experienced drivers for HTP Windward and for Heusingfeld, now joint venture with Haupt Racing, as they are called Haupt Racing Team Heusingfeld. Now Galgenkopf onto Döttinger Höhe, and we will see them coming into pit lane in a couple of seconds. Now a short chat with the team, and then talking about the strategy. Okay, that's the Hohenrhein chicane, and I promise both cars will come into pit lane. That's a little bit of bad luck. Hopefully they do not lose too much time into the pit lane. Okay, here they are, and that's Butler Pahl against Mahle Racing Team on Döttinger Höhe. So that's Dominik Steib. Weil Rainer Thal war. Okay, we have to wait until everybody was in pit lane, is now back out of pit lane. Here we have Manfilter Team HTP Winward. Behind there it's a team BMW Bank, and also the Keep On Racing RN Vision we see in the background. We see Cora Sim Racing. So now all of the SP9 cars were in pit lane, or still are in pit lane. Dominik Steib is leading, and I'm wondering, Rainer Thal truly, he was later in pit lane, had a longer pit stop for that, sure. But he's only in 5th position. Benny Chiusa was in pit lane already, is now in 2nd. So we have to wait. Heusingfeld out of pit lane in front of Manfilter. So that was a quick stop for Heusingfeld, making the move in pit lane against HTP Winward. And we have to wait for the end of this lap to have the clear view on it. And while we wait for that, we have another guest coming up here. Thomas Asmussen is now here with us in the commentary booth. And Thomas, he is driver of the number 222 H2 Performance car, sharing the car with Lukas Lippert. Welcome, Thomas. And how is racing so far here at the NIMEX 3h-Race?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, the qualifying was pretty good. I was P1 at first, but then Asher Racing gained like 2/100ths of a second. But the goal was just to be like P3, P4, that's everything fine. At the moment the draft is so, there's so much draft that I was pretty sure like the first 3, 4, 5 will stay together. So our tactic was just to stay with the pack in front. And it was clear that after the first stop, the tactics of the teams will be different. Yeah, and that's what happened. So now the real race starts.
You just said strategy between teams will be different. What does it exactly mean? What will be the difference between the teams in kind of or in terms of strategy?
Yeah, it's possible to just change one set of tires. So we have now René Kirchhoff. He is from Team Nürburgring Esports, and us. We both stayed on the same tires. So we will just change one set of tires. Asher Racing, I think they changed just 2 tires. Otherwise, the 12 seconds, the gap does not fit. So in the end, it's like if we do 22, 23 laps, that can be interesting too.
And how does it affect the driving? As you say, only change 2 tires, or only set, or no tire changes, staying on the same set. How does it affect towards the end of the stint, especially?
Yeah, so lap times do not drop that significantly. So overall, it's faster to drive longer on the tires. But they get very, very difficult to drive in the end. You get very snappy oversteer. And so that's now for Lucas 4 laps, hoping that he manages to keep the car on track. And in the end, I will do have the oldest tires in the very end. And to try to keep the car on track there.
we just see your car driving at the moment here in the stream. Lucas, you said Lucas Lippert is driving at the moment, and you guys are with your team currently second in the championship, and it's very close together between you guys in the Cup 2 class, as we have Usher in front, H2 Performance, SRT, you guys in second, VNS Motorsport by H2P in third with a little gap, but it's only 4 points between Usher and you guys. It will be down, if nothing major, hopefully, happening in this race. It will be down to the last race, and then it will be a strategy race, or it will be a lights to flag race. What can we expect for the rest of this race and the next one?
Yeah, I expect this race to be pretty close. We are now 12 seconds in front of Usher Racing, but the guys are a little bit faster still. So in the last stint, I will be driving and have Martin Usher or Jirak in my back, and it's gonna be pretty tough. So like half a year ago, we were 5 seconds off Usher Racing. Now we're almost there, but after all, they still have a bit more pace than us. So today we tried a very different tactic.
And I mean, not giving us all the insights, but in your technique you just mentioned. But how is it to drive with a Cup car? I know it from the real world, driving a Cup car on the Nordschleife. But how is it to drive the virtual Cup car, as we have no ABS? The car, you said, is quite snappy, even though, or even more in the end of the stint. How is it driving the 911 Cup car on the Nordschleife?
It's I think the most hard to drive car in iRacing. Without the ABS, every braking zone you try to get it perfect and not lock up the wheels. If you lock up, then you're gone at this pace in most cases. But it's the little bits, like the rear locking just a tiny bit up, the front just a tiny bit, and that's adding to the tire wear and temperatures, and on the gas it's the same. Even in fourth gear and Mutkurve, you always have to fight the car, turn and understeer, and when you get back on the power, oversteer. But it's by far the most fun car to drive in iRacing.
So what we've learned is it's the most difficult but the most fun car to drive.
Yes.
Maybe it's because of that, because it's the most difficult and hardest to drive. It is the most fun car. Thank you very much for the insight, Thomas. So you will be in the car one more time. When does your stint start?
Lucas will drive about 7 laps, and I will do from now on, and I will do the last 7 laps, 6 to 7 laps.
Okay, so we cross fingers for you guys, and we just saw the whole time during the interview how Lucas was putting pressure onto René Kirchhoff for second position. It's only 5/10 of a second gap in between them. So thank you very much for taking the time. Now he made it. I just saw it in the timing, and you probably on your screen. And now the 222 car, Lucas Lippert and Thomas Asmussen for H2 Performance in second position in Cup 2 class. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Thomas, and see you. Bye-bye. And while we were talking with Thomas Asmussen, we saw in split screen, quite relaxing Jan Schakowski, it should have been. He is concentrating in the simulator and driving there and sweating, and everybody else is having a chill around there. So that's how racing in the virtual world is happening. How it is happening as well is we have Rainer Talva here in the big picture, teammate of Laurin Heinrich for BS Competition, number 89. They are currently in 4th position. And now the picture is more clear, let's say, but we have to wait until the very end now to really see what will happen, because of the longer and shorter stints they have done. For example, Steib or also Marcevic for Schnitzelalm as an example, they were early in the pits. So that's why the picture is not 100% clear, as they have to do a long last stint, while, for example, here we have Adam Christodoulou now taking over the car from Jan Zinkowski. They have done a long first stint and have to do a short last stint. So it will be quite interesting. Christodoulou, he is in 9th position now overall. Alexei Iloma behind him. Last time Christodoulou was at Dubai, just finishing the race, jumping into the simulator and doing the race from Dubai. And now he is back at home. I just checked his Instagram channel, and he's also streaming on Twitch, and it looked like he is driving in his own simulator, because he said it's different. It's very much different when you are not in your own simulator, and the setting is different, the feeling is different, and so he said he lost a little bit of time because of that. Now he's back in his home simulator, and yeah, he's doing quite well against Alexei Iloma, one of the pro racers in sim racing, and also Marcel Marcevic with Schnitzelalm in front of him in the green Mercedes AMG GT3. He is also right behind him. Steib, Giusa, Denzler, Talva, Müller, Lukas Müller, Biko, Setsas, Marcevic, Christodoulou and Iloma. That's the top 10 in SP9 class at the moment. So here that's the fight for top 10. Seeing Setsas, Marcevic, Christodoulou and Iloma. But again, it's all about the strategy. We had the first pit stops done, and there will be one more to do when Christodoulou is getting out of the car, and Mats Torge Hutzfeld will take over, while Iloma is getting out of the car after the next pit stop, and Philip Ellis, the winner of the 24 hours of Daytona, will be taking over the car. So I just forgot to mention that tiny detail of his career starting in 2021 at Daytona. He won the race with another pro racer, Maro Engel. Maro is sharing the car with Danny Chiusa, also doing the DNLS here. So the Digital Nürburgring Endurance Series presented by Goodyear is quite full of the pros. And so 2 of the 4 Daytona winners are here in the race, which is, I think, quite a good average. That's the replay of the group we just saw. Adam Christodoulou in fight with Keep On Racing, the SP10 car, touching the rear right, and that's for the 310 car. Keep On Racing, Loris Brock and Maximilian Dehn. It ended in the barrier, truly. And sure, Race Control will have a look into that, as we have a live Race Control here for the race. Still the fight for 9th and 10th class, position in class. And while we see here the overtake of Alexei Iloma in section of so-called Mutkurve, he made the move around Adam Christodoulou. So now Alexei Iloma in 9th position, Christodoulou back in 10th. We have I don't know. I have no words to describe what Laurin Heinrich has done in his first stint. About 16 seconds, Laurin, was the gap when you went into the pit lane. How did you do that?
Yeah, so first of all, I have to say I profited quite a lot from the mayhem in the back. So that was quite good. But yeah, I mean, that was also the reason why I wanted to qualify P1, because it's also a high possibility of chaos in the back when you're starting P4, P5. So yeah, that worked quite well. Then the car was good. We have a completely new setup from last race to this race. And yeah, now we made a tire change and need to see how it plays out.
And but what we saw also, Laurin, is that last time we were talking also that probably the BMWs, the new M4, and you said you have a new setup. We're struggling to the end of the stint a little with the tires and also with the fuel saving. Is that still the case? Because we saw that Mercedes AMG could put a little more pressure on the BMWs towards the end of their stints.
Yeah, last race we struggled quite a lot on the tires. That's also where we worked on for this race. We improved it quite a lot. And yeah, I mean, last race we clearly saw that the Mercedes has a fuel advantage. I mean, but it is how it is. We are planning to do 8 laps each now in the last 2 stints. So we also save on pit stop like the Mercedes. Yeah, and that's our strategy.
We have, you have Rainer again with you, Rainer Talvar. Last time he was not with you in the race, but the race before. Strong performance again also for him. He's running in 4th position now, as we have no clear picture because of strategy, early pit stops, late pit stops. But again, a strong performance from him. Laurin, I just mentioned you before with your program this year, so which is fixed as a Career Cup Germany. You are part of the ADAC Youngster program, the development program. You are a part of the Porsche Talent Pool and working on, you didn't say that, but I mentioned that because I understood that kind of, working on a Super Cup program. Racing is going well for you.
Yeah, it is. It's getting bigger and bigger year by year, which is good for me. I learn more and more, and yeah, it's also nice to get the support from ADAC and also Porsche Career Cup Talent Pool. They support me a lot. They give me a lot of coachings and trainings, so I can become a better and more complete racing driver.
But what I'm interested in is how is the weight for you, the balance? Is it more weight on sim racing or is it more weight on the hand of real racing? Now that's for me personally. I'm very much interested in your answer.
I mean, my ultimate goal is to become a real racing driver, but you never know what happens in the future. How much sim racing takes over and how much not. So I try to be really competitive in both worlds and be a hybrid racer, as we call it. And yeah, but my ultimate goal right now is to become a real racing driver. And yeah, my focus shifts in summer more to real racing. But yeah, I try to do as many virtual races as possible.
And how is a day scheduled for Laurin Heinrich? Because I think it's we were talking in the last couple of days a little more, but. You said, okay, I have a meeting here, I cannot. Here's a meeting there, I cannot. About whatever. But how is the schedule for you, a day or a week? I'm very much interested because it's. I mean, it's the fitness training, it's the sim racing practice you need, you truly need. But it's also the real racing when testing starts and so on. Are you doing anything besides, or is it just focusing on real and sim racing?
Yeah, my daily routine differs a lot from the normal daily routine, I would say. Yeah, as you say, I have fitness training. Then the first big race of the year is always to be on the racetrack. I always say that's the hardest race, to get the support from sponsors and so on. That's where I'm working a lot because it's super hard. And yeah, but I also sell simulators next to racing in the virtual and real world. And yeah, my daily routine is like fitness, of course. Now more and more because the season is about to start. And then in the evening, I do like 2 to 3 hours of simulator driving. Depends on what event is next. And yeah, during the day, I try to work on my real racing career, and yeah, also sometimes some simulator during the day. Depends on what race is on.
So it's just pure racing, nothing. So I mean, still when you say you're selling simulators, it's still kind of racing, because it's part of it. I know that you set up and built the simulator of Bruno Spengler and Philipp Eng, and most probably some more. But that's I mean, that's a pure racer, to be honest. Really focused on that. And just all about that. Coming back to the race, Rainer, as I said, is now in the car. You will be in the car for the last stint, I guess?
Yeah, I will be in for the last stint. Rainer has, I think, 4 laps after this one to go. And then I go in for another 8 laps with fresh tires.
So, and then hopefully another big fight, not with Sami Matti Trogen we saw in the last couple of races, because they are not participating this time, as they are not here. But it will be interesting in the end. What is your expectation? Who will be the cars, the teams you will fight with in the last stint?
I think it will be Male. I'm quite excited on how the strategy will play out, because they didn't change tires. But as we see last race, the AMGs are always good for a surprise in the last stint. So yeah, let's just see.
Thank you very much, Laurin. I just don't want to take too much time from you. Relax a little bit for the next 4 laps, which is not that much time. And thank you very much for taking time coming here and having a little chat.
Thank you. Bye.
Laurin Heinrich, he is one of the most successful German sim racers. I mean, we have many more, but he is one of them you always have to mention when you talk about sim racing in Germany. And he is here in the Digital Nürburgring Endurance Series since day one, and with his team BS Competition. What we are on is Adam Christodoulou once again. 8th position, Alexei Iloma in front of me. But Iloma, he made the pass, but he cannot go away from Christodoulou. And once again, I have to say, Iloma is one of the pro racing, sim racing drivers. And so that's a very nice job from the Mercedes AMG sim racing factory driver, let's call it like this. Replay, Chorus Sim Racing, Sindre Setzas in his Lamborghini, Alexei Iloma making the move into Schwedenkreuz. That's a move, to be honest, you only can do, and Adam Christodoulou just also passed him. But that's a move you can only see in sim racing. I mean, it's a very tough one, but to see that in the real world within one class, it's very much interesting. While we are on the car, I just got a message from Mats Torge Hutzfeld, sharing the car with Adam and Jan Zetkowski. He has a short piece of time for us. Thank you very much, Mats, for taking the time. How is racing so far for you guys? It doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, good afternoon. First of all, yeah, the first stint was quite eventful. Many incidents, and Jan could keep the car out of trouble. Yeah, and then Adam took over the car, but yeah, we had a little an incident with the GT4, and we got a penalty for that, so we will fall back the order, unfortunately.
We didn't see the penalty. What is it like? What penalty did you get?
Adam, yeah.
We saw the incident. We saw the incident.
okay,
But what penalty did you get for that? A drive-through penalty or stop and hold, or what? Do you know what penalty it was, or it is?
The race control only says black flagged, so there's no timing.
And then it should be a drive-through. No,
Okay.
black flag is stop and hold, right?
Yeah,
I think so. In iRacing, it's go to your pit place, stop and go. Okay, but even though you will lose quite a lot of time, which will be, I guess, around 30 seconds.
Yeah, it should be.
Roundabout. Unfortunately, because the race looks promising for you, I just mentioned Adam having very close contact to Alexei Loma, and I mean Alexei is one of also the very experienced sim racing drivers, like you guys, Jan and you, and Adam. He just made his first steps last year. But he's doing quite well in your team, and I know you guys, you and Jan, you're coaching him quite a lot.
Yeah, it's really a pleasure to drive with Adam. He made lots of progress in the last half a year. I think in the first race with him we won in DNLS race in the last summer with a alternate strategy. So yeah, it's really cool with him. He's a great guy and has also time to do the sim racing stuff. And yeah, he also did great moves after his little mistake. So yeah, really good what he's doing at the moment.
Even though he has no time, like Dubai last race, I can remember that I mentioned it before. Even though he has no time, he's making his appearance here in sim racing. So he's really much into that. I'm wondering a little bit how his girlfriend is thinking about that, because I know if Adam is doing anything, he's doing it 100%. So but you guys, and you mentioned that before, you're always good for a special strategy. So can we see a special strategy as well this time?
Make a second 8-lap stint in the end, so that we will only have to stop twice in the end. And I think we also want to double stint the tires. But many other teams also switch to that strategy, so I think this strategy will be the main one today. And I think the other BMWs also switch to that.
Yeah, we just had Laurin here, and he mentioned that the BMW, the BS, changed to also one more pit stop now, also 8 laps. So it will be down. Unfortunately, with a penalty, sure, you won't be in that fight, but it will be down to many cars. We just saw the first cars coming down for the into pit for the second time. When does your stint start?
I think in 3.5 laps. So in
20 minutes. Yeah, 25 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So, then you will go until the end, I guess, because then it's a little more than 1 hour to go.
Yeah.
And you will be the one fighting for the good positions. And thank you very much, Mats. I won't take too much time because you said you only have a little bit of time. But thank you very much, even though for coming here and talking with us, and crossing fingers for you guys, maybe because on Nordschleife everybody knows it. Everything can happen. So everything can happen here, and crossing fingers for you, and good luck for the last 1.5 hours.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Mats Torge-Hutzfeld from Haupt Racing Team Heusingfeld, sharing the car with Adam Christodoulou and Jan Sendkowski. And as I said, we had the first cars already in pit lane for the second pit stop. We are now on a Cup 2 class, which is WNSE Motorsport by H2P in 5th position, and Eibach Sim Racing in 6th So Luca Albert and Jan Noller for Eibach, and behind there, or in front there, is Stefan Bernstedt and Jens Hartrampf. Very nice insights we get this time here at the Digital Nürburgring Endurance Series, presented by Goodyear, from all the drivers, not even the real racing drivers, but even more from the sim racers. And it is very interesting to hear about their strategies, about their life, when you hear Laurin Heinrich and see what he is doing the whole day. I mean, doing, what did he say, 2 to 3 hours of practice in sim racing, in a simulator per day. I was happy enough to do that per week, and yeah, so it's truly the way racing is doing since last year, even more. That's Merlin Mark Wolf. He always with his special hat. He's always wearing his hat, and he is driving the 911 GT3 Cup car, 8th position at the moment. And Mark Merlin Wolf is he looks always quite relaxed when he is sitting in his simulator, sharing the car with the other relaxed guy, Tim Barnes, for Wolf Motorsport Sim Racing. 7th position now, and talking to Tim Barnes, I guess, about strategy, or maybe what they are doing on a Sunday tomorrow, because they look so much relaxed. And it looks like that Merlin Mark Wolf will go fishing after the race. But the race for him and Tim Barnes went quite okay. 7th position right there, and 25 seconds in front, 24 seconds to the back. So they can just beat themselves at the moment, and because the gaps are quite huge in front and in the rear. We go on board in the SP10 class, and it's the car of Manuel Weibel, getting lapped by BMW Team Great Britain. And as I say, Manuel Weibel, so that's the Undici Scuderia car, and in front of them is Sim RC SP10, Matthias Schoger, 3rd and 4th position in SP10. In front of them is Pascal Stix for Core Sim Racing and Niels Lorenz for Team RSO. Here again you see that that's typical Nordschleife. It's exactly how it looks on the Nordschleife. So the not comparing real and virtual world, not because of that, but because of traffic. You have the different classes. You have to find your way through. And we just heard it from Mats Torgo Hutzfeld that Adam did some nice moves also. So you really have to be focused when you come for both sides. When you come as the fast car, SP9 car, for example, but also you have to be focused as the SP10 car. And it's not too easy to find your way through, or to be in your own fight like Weibel and Shoga, but also watching mirrors and having the mirrors for SP9. So it's not so easy, and not so easy is it also for us to get away of all these fights here, but as we want to be fresh, relaxed, and with 100% power into the last part of the race, in a couple of seconds we will have our last pit stop, going into pit lane. But do not leave you alone. We leave you with the split screen, and we show you all the fights with a little bit of a break, another break, and then we have the last third of the Digital Nürburgring Endurance Series presented by Goodyear, and especially the NIMEX 3-hour race. The last 60 minutes, 70 minutes for you in the pocket. And then we see how strategy works out in SP9 class, how it works out in Cup 2 class, in SP10, and also in SP3T. So do not get away. So stay here with the split screen, and we will be back in about 5 minutes. So thank you, and here, and see you in a couple of seconds. And here we are back at the final hour, almost final hour at the Digital Nürburgring Endurance Series presented by Goodyear. And we are on BS competition number 90. Felix Quirnbach is the driver there. And he is currently in third position. He is sharing the car with Niels Koch. And behind there, it's Sindre Setsas in a fourth position. So that's the fight. Setsas was in pit lane for the second time already. While Talva, Iloma, Spengler, Bruno Spengler, sharing the car with Kai Kashuber, Adam Christodoulou were not in the pit lane yet. Everybody else from SP9 class was in pit lane for their second stop. That means they have to do one more. All the cars in pit who did their pit stop until now already have to come one more time into pit lane. All the others try to extend their stints further down to only have to do this one more pit stop now and then going until the end. We have one guy here for the interview who knows exactly about the strategies, as he is one of the drivers who did the start and was trying to follow Laurin Heinrich, but even more had a very nice and close fight with Kai Kashuber. Welcome, Dominik Stalp. Dominik, how is racing so far for you guys here in the NIMEX 3h-Race?
This race today, first of all, hello. This race today was pretty tough for us. As you said, I tried to follow Laurin, but I just had no chance. He was simply too quick today, and also I was involved in many battles for P2 with Kay, especially on the first lap and on the third lap. We had some really close battling. Sadly, I think on the first lap I thought I was clear, but I wasn't really. It was also really close, maybe a tiny bit of netcode, but I should have probably not moved over and pushed him off the track. I simply thought I was clear. That was my bad for sure. And then there was this accident behind me in turn 1 as well, where everything bunched up. I don't know, I was really struggling in turn 1 today. The car was just not turning in, we had no rotation there, so I just had to slow down a lot, and I watched it again. I was slowing down to almost 60 kilometers every corner. I just couldn't go quicker around turn 1 today, so yeah, not really much I could do there.
And now Bradley is in the car for you guys. What do you expect? What is possible still for you, or is it just gone for this race?
Right now we had a crash because Bradley actually had technical issues. Sadly, his brake pedal was stuck at 5 to 10%. So we were really slow in the straight, and also it's of course terrible if you enter a corner and the brake pedal is stuck a bit. So you trail the brakes basically always, and the rear gets loose. So yeah, he lost it at Breitscheid and hit the wall. Now we need to repair for a pretty long time. So yeah, I guess we can't finish the race in a good position, but at least we had some good fun.
I just saw, because I was missing you guys in front, and now I can see 45th position Bradley and in the pits. But technical issues, I mean, you know exactly what you are talking about. I can remember, was it 2 races ago, I think, when you had the issue of getting out of the pit lane as well, right? So that's sim racing. I mean, you have another kind of technical failures you can have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the real world, your engine can blow up, and here something on your rig can fail. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, and yeah, just having a little bit of bad luck currently, but I hope it's over soon so we can attack for a good result again.
And coming to your season of 2021, you are still, as I'm informed correct, you're still with Williams, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And do you know already your program for this season? You're sure you do the DNLS? The next race, most probably you do that?
it depends. Yeah, if I'm available, I try to race here because I just love the Nordschleife. It's, in my opinion, the best track in the world. So I'm really happy about this series that we can make so many races here currently. And about the future, we will need to see. There are a lot of great races coming up, special events like the 12 hours Bathurst next week where we participate. And yeah, it's it will be. It will not get boring for me. Okay, now I got
Okay,
it.
but you stick to iRacing, right? Or do you also kind of like I mean, hybrid racer is the word Laurin is using or BS is using for the drivers, but kind of hybrid racer drivers, they are also out there, sim racers, doing different platforms, or you are specialized on iRacing?
I tried the other simulators as well, but I simply prefer iRacing right now. It's not perfect for sure, but it's a lot of fun. And nowadays, there's so many good drivers to be really competitive. You almost need to focus on one simulator. Yeah, so that's why I'm only driving iRacing currently.
We see that, as you mentioned, Bradley is in the pit lane, but is it still possible for you to get one more time in the car, or will Bradley then just finish the race once you guys repaired the car? And also you have to have the penalty pit stop, right, for the fast repair as well.
Yeah, exactly. As far as I know, we need to do two driver changes anyway, so this was only our first driver change, and Bradley needs to do 45 minutes as well, as he's a pro driver. So we are currently waiting because we had to tow the car. Actually, as I'm talking, the tow just ended, so Bradley is probably on the track again, and yeah, we need to take this 5-minute penalty pit stop now, and then I will probably go in for the last lap of the race just to make sure we are safe within the regulations. Yeah, right now Bradley deserves to do a few laps. He practiced a lot and put in a lot of effort. Really sad to see that. Yeah, now we had a technical issue after so much practice.
Yeah, I mean that's very much a pity. I know it from the real life. When you do your mistake by your own, you are angry about yourself and whatever because you did a mistake. But in that case, nobody can do anything. So and that's even more pity. So what will be? You guys driving with the BMW M4 GT3, a car which is not on the real track at the moment, and against the Mercedes AMG GT3, against the Lamborghini. What is it like to drive the BMW M4? Where are the strengths and where are the weaknesses? How can we judge that?
Yeah, currently the car is really fast down the straights. We are, I think, the fastest car even with less engine power due to BOP. So that's really good and really helpful to overtake. If you lack pace, we had it in the Audi before last season, it's really hard to race. Actually, the car is really new. This was my first race in the car. I drove it for the first time a few days ago. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time to get used to it, and especially the setup, there's room for improvement. I struggled a little bit with understeer and oversteer today, so it wasn't ideal, but we tried our best in preparation, and yeah, we just need to see what we can do for the next race.
Thank you very much, Dominic. Then crossing fingers for you guys that you will finish the race in any kind of good result. I mean, I know it's just a shame with a technical failure you had in the crash. But thank you very much anyways to come here, giving us a little bit of insight of you and your 2021 season. Thank you very much, and crossing fingers for you if you are participating next time, that hopefully we see you guys, because we know you belong there on the podium.
Thanks, goodbye.
Bye-bye. Dominic Steib, driver for the Mahle racing team. I always were talking about Williams Esports because that's part of the Esports, the Williams guys, and so that's why the Mahle racing team is that part of it. We are back at Cup 2 class, and we see Usher Racing in front in a first position. As we are a little bit used to it, Martin Ascher himself is driving right at the moment, and a gap off, and we can see that 1.3 seconds to Jens Hartramp in the 228 Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car. Butler Pahl Motorsport already 18 seconds behind Ascher. So most probably it will be down to Ascher and WNS Motorsport for the rest of the 1 hour and 2 minutes. But we have so people come and go here so quickly. We have Marek Böckmann with us from M&J Performance by Promotion, and he just wrote me that just before the break we had that he just jumped out of the car and is ready for an interview. So thank you very much, Marek, for that. And it's the same question to you as I asked Dominic. How is racing so far for you guys, as you sharing the car with Jan-Philipp Springop on 12th position right at the moment, if I'm right?
Yeah, first of all, thanks very much for inviting me. Yeah, it's going quite well at the moment. Everything is running like we planned it. Currently, as you said, we are running on P12. We're still missing a little bit of speed, but we're working on it. The car is always very fast at the end of the stint, so I think we still have a little bit left for the end of the race to make it a good one at the end.
We just see, especially in this race, more and more over the last races as well. It's more and more about strategy, and you guys have done your second pit stop already, so you have to do one more. Other guys like BS Competition, Manfilter, HTP Winward, and so on, they extended their stints. So what is the for just to let us know, what is the advantage of having an early pit stop or a late pit stop? So what is the difference in between, if you can tell us about that?
Yeah, of course. The advantage of early pit stop is that you get out of the traffic, so you can drive on your own and don't lose time during some fighting or passing other cars. When you have a late pit stop, basically maybe you can save one pit stop at the end, this splash and dash, so you can save some time as well, but therefore you have to do some fuel saving and cannot go on 100% speed. So we decided to do 7 laps in the beginning and then do an earlier pit stop because we are on a special tire strategy, and we hope that it will be okay at the end. Jan-Philipp is driving at the moment, so basically we don't do any fuel saving and go 100%. We only have to save the tires. That's our plan at the moment.
Let me guess, you do not change tires for you in the last stint.
Yeah, we didn't change tires now.
Okay.
Or in my stint, so I did 7 and 4 laps. 7 and 5 laps. Sorry. Then we changed tires and driver, and now Jan-Philipp is driving, and then we have to see how he's going with his tire management, and then it will be quite spontaneous, but if everything goes well, we can stay on the tire set to the end of the race.
But how do you know if that is it just Jan-Philipp you are talking to about his feeling in the car, or do you have special apps and features to analyze the tire wear?
At the moment, we are doing a lot with our feeling, but we are still trying to improve. So we recently started working with new programs, and we are coming more and more into all the stuff. We are analyzing a lot of data, but there's so much you can do in these races, and it's a learning process for us. It's the first season in the end. So we think from race to race and try to improve step by step.
I mean, you guys, you know each other quite well. Jan-Philipp Springhoff is a champion of the ADAC Sim Racing Cup. And you were, I would say, one of the unluckiest guys there. I don't know how many rollovers you had, but it was mainly not because of you. So you were quite unfortunate right there. But here now you're sharing a car. In race number 1, if I can remember correct, you did it by just your own, and then from second race on here in DNLS, you did a joint venture with Promotion, right?
We did our first race completely on our own, and then we got Promotion as our partner, as a support team who's at our back. And but Jan-Philipp and me, we are basically the team leaders or team principals, and we do all the work like you do it in a real racing team, just for the simulation at the moment. But it's really good to learn, and you never know, maybe in 5 years we will start our own racing team.
Yeah, I mean, that's the time for it. I mean, why not? I'm a fan of it. That's why I love to see you guys having your own team here, and maybe whatever in real racing, then your own team as well. But you are quite new to the sim racing world. You do on your YouTube channel quite a lot of funny stuff. So everybody out there who understands German, that's the most important, who understands German should have a look on Marek's YouTube channel. It's quite funny, even though when he's throwing his stuff around. But Marek, coming to the real racing, do we see you at the Nordschleife, because you are one of the specialists also on the Nordschleife in the real racing world? What is your program for 2021?
We are still planning. It's getting closer at the moment. At the moment, we're planning to do the first races of the NLS and maybe the 24 hours race. That would be the biggest goal for me. We also have one more thing we're planning, but at the moment it's just really difficult to say. So I guess I have to wait one or 2 weeks more to finally tell some news. But I think you will see me at the Nordschleife this year.
Yeah, that looks that sounds very much promising. So we cross fingers for you to not only see you in here for sure. That's good to see you guys here driving in the Digital Nürburgring Endurance Series, but also truly on the real Nordschleife as well. And thank you very much, Marek, for taking time. When is your stint? So when will Jan-Philipp coming into the pit lane?
I'm finished for today. If everything goes like we planned it. So because I did a double stint and we chose the rule that we extend our pit stop for 33 seconds. So it's basically like a driver change, that we have all the rules right in the end. And Jan-Philipp will drive till the finish line, and I'm just looking around and giving the information now.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much. Then go back spotting for Jan-Philipp. I mean, it's important at the Nordschleife. Thank you very much, Marek Böckmann, for Team MNJ Performance by Promotion, for taking time coming here.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we are back at the Cup 2 class with Butler Pal Racing or Motorsport and the number 222 H2 Performance SRT Thomas Asmussen and Lukas Lippert. Here in split screen, and you see with the bottom camera right there how fast these guys are driving around there. And that's the in-fight. That's the fight for the second and third position in Cup 2 class, as Martin Ascher, the number 227 car, sharing the car with Markus Jirak, is not there anymore. They are still in front. Sure, 20 seconds gap. That's why. They are 20 seconds behind. So Lukas Lippert and Till Norvik, the guys we see here, they have a 20 seconds gap to Martin Ascher, which is quite huge, and still again shows the performance of Ascher Racing. But here, with 53 minutes to go, it is the fight for not only the podium, it's the fight for the second position. While we see the fight here in Cup 2 class, having a look in the other classes here on the timing screen as well, we have Brian McManus leading in SP10 class, Niels Lorenz and Marius Golombek. That's the top 3 in the SP10. And in SP3T we have Jürgen Frank, Marvin Strehl and Lars Bohl in the Audi RS3 LMS. In SP9 class we have Alexei Iloma here now we can see that's what we stay on. Lukas Lippert makes the move on Till Norvik, so new second position for Lukas Lippert for H2 Performance, and Till Norvik back to third. .50 or 51 minutes and 20 seconds in this NIMEX 3-hour race. So we are over the magic 2/3 line now. And that means for Alexei Iloma and Felix Quirnbach, truly, so BS Competition and Mannfilter HTP Windward, they still have to do one more pit stop. And so they are very much safe with their last pit stop. But what counts towards them now is they do not have to fuel up the whole fuel tank, because with 50 minutes and about 1 hour you can go per stint, per fuel tank capacity. They are saving a little bit of time in the pit stop. So it's gonna be very much interesting how we will end up. And we just heard it from the guys here in the interview. In every class, also in Cup 2 class with the Porsche 911, it's always up to the strategy, and that's pure Nordschleife driving. Again, in a Cup car, in a 911 Cup car here, in the Cayman Cup car, the GT4, that's the in-fight Manuel Weibel still for Undici Scuderia in 5th position, and Tom Valentini still in front of him. 4th and 5th position there in SP10. Undici Scuderia at the moment in their class on the 5th position. Unluckily, they were a bit unlucky in the first race, in the H&R 3-hour race. They did not get any points, 0 points for them there, and then 8 and 7 point something. So 15, little more than 15 points for Undici Scuderia. So that means 13 points behind Team RSO. But still, it is possible to make the move on BS Competition, as they were unlucky this race, and they are on 3rd position. Keep on Racing is in 4th, 18 points. So still everything is possible. While we see here Marco Poyer, sorry, in his, it looks like it's his bedroom. But you never know where he has his simulator. And also he looks quite relaxed, driving the Racetech Performance Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 Club Sport. And they are in 9th position in their class. And in the championship, they are at the 10th position with 10.54 points currently. That's Schnitzelalm Racing. Jamo Hertling back behind the wheel. And Mats Torge Hutzfeld, we were talking to in the interview a couple minutes ago. He is now behind the wheel in the Haupt Racing Team Heusingfeld Mercedes AMG GT3. His first stint and the last stint for the team, while Laurin Heinrich is back in the car. Daniel Morat, the virtual racing to sim racing factory driver for Mercedes AMG, is in a 2nd position. But most probably they have to do one more pit stop. While we see the train here, Torge Hutzfeld is taking it easy on lapping SP3T car from Sim RC. Jamo Hertling has to defend against the BS competition car. Kai Kaschube is back in the car after Bruno Spengler did the middle stint. And Nils Koch, teammate of Kaschube and Spengler, is in 8th position, so he is the 4th car in this train. And Nils Koch is sharing the car with Felix Quirnbach, who has done the middle stint as well. So we are 45 minutes before we see the checkered flag here in the race. And everything is still open. While we see now, when you watch the live timing, you have Laurin Heinrich, Daniel Morat, Maro Engel, Philipp Ellis, Mats Torge Hutzfeld, Jamo Hertling, Kai Kaschube, Nils Koch, Karl Jansson, Jan-Philipp Springop. So many, not only real racing professionals, also like Kaschube or Koch or Jansson, like sim racing professionals. And that is how DNLS is working, and what we like to see and what we like at the championship here. Torge Hutzfeld still in front of Jamo Hertling, the 2 Mercedes AMG GT3, and then we have the 2 BMW M4 GT3. But it looks like, I'm just counting a little bit here with my pencil, and I'm just trying to calculate. It looks like it could be an easy living for Laurin Heinrich, but what happens after them, for Heinrich and Rainer Talva, but what happens after then, it's still open. And everything is still open because of pit strategy and very close gaps in between Morat, Engel, Ellis, Hutzfeld, Hertling, Kaschube Koch. So let's see. Well, we see J-Mo Hedling back in his rig, but these guys, they are not really going out of the simulator because they are still in there for the whole time. And while we see J-Mo Hedling fighting with Haupt Racing team Heusingfeld, we have Adam Christodoulou here. Adam, first question to you. Are you sitting in your own simulator or still in Dubai?
Hey Jan, I am back in my own simulator now. So I hold on, let me just mute the mic so the drivers don't hear all of this. So I realised I was still in the driver channel. Yeah, so back in my own sim now, which is nice. It's difficult jumping in someone else's sim, just because trying to get it set up how you like it. Like in the end, I suppose there's so many different configurations of sims out there. There's different wheels, different motors and pedals and all of that. And when I was in Dubai, I struggled to use or get used to the pedals that I had out there. So it's nice being back in my own sim, but again, it took a little bit of time to adjust. Up until this week, I hadn't been back on the sim for, well, basically since the last race. So I was a little rusty. Sorry, I'm just watching how close the battle's getting with Mats and the three cars chasing behind.
It's crazy what is going on at the moment.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah. It's a shame. I made an error. I made a massive mistake. I thought one of the BMW GT4s was going to take a wide berth around one of the corners, and I just slipped down the inside and I just clipped his rear. And in the end, obviously, completely sent him and he crashed. So we got a penalty, which I suppose, well, it's only there, but it's dropped us back more than obviously what we'd have liked.
But you're still in a good position. So did you serve your penalty already?
Yeah. So we have to take it within 3 seconds, within 3 laps. And so we took the penalty, we took the drive-through, and then it was at the end of my stint. So I came in and handed over to Matt. So now it's his turn just to make this thing as wide as possible, which can't imagine it's going to be an easy task right now with a train of 3 GT3s directly behind us.
But I mean, it still looks promising, kind of, because even though with a penalty, but everything, in my opinion, everything is open. I just mentioned that a couple times while we are streaming here, because some of the guys have to do one more pit stop, one additional pit stop. You guys do not have to do one more, right? You are done with the pit stops. So everything is possible, because now, as I see it right, Daniel Morad and Mauro Engel coming into pit lane. Yeah, they are in pit lane now. So you guys jump now another 2 positions up the
exactly.
Up the grid.
Yeah, we've finished all of our stops now, so we're going to the end, assuming that we can make it on fuel. This is always the challenge. There's realistically 3 different strategies that you can have for this race. And so I think each brand has got its own strength and weakness. I think the BMW is a little heavy on tyres versus us, and so of course that changes or limits their options of strategy. But at the moment, BS Competition seem to be in a league of their own, but they've been strong in every race they've done. They've just got extremely strong driver pairing, and obviously the cars acting good, but I think it's been a pretty brilliant job with how close all of the cars are. And you can see it just with how competitive it looks. Apart from the leaders, I think basically from 2nd to 6th is fully unknown at the moment.
That's exactly my thinking about it. But coming to real racing, Adam, or not really to real racing, but you extended your contract with Mercedes AMG.
Yep.
Congrats first of all to that, but not only you extended it, as we were talking about Daniel Morad before, as the first AMG factory sim racer, you have your contract extended in that kind of area as well.
Yes, exactly. Sorry, just getting a little close between.
Yeah, I can see
and
it.
the BMW.
We have it live in the broadcast as well.
Yes, so I'm happy to confirm that I've got another 2 years with AMG. So it's obviously always to represent such a brand is always an honour, and my contract also includes esports as well. And so basically, it's quite relentless. We do a lot of testing on here. We've been testing basically every day this week. I only got back Sunday, and I'm in self-isolation at the moment, so I've had no excuses. So I've been using as much of my spare time to be back on the sim and get up to speed. And so it's something new, and it's the way that the world's evolving at the moment. That obviously some brands and manufacturers are going electric, and then esports is now a huge thing. Obviously after last year, with so many drivers being locked down for such a period, esports really took off, and it was great to see. And I'm so glad I'm involved in it, to be honest. I'm sort of questioning myself why I didn't get involved with it sooner. Because I suppose with everyone jumping on, trying to find that edge even against the real life drivers is a tough challenge. And Maro was a bit of a last minute confirmation, and so was Daniel on for this weekend. And of course, I think around here I've probably got more experience than both of them, but Daniel's extremely quick in everything else he does. But I'm a little gutted with the penalty that we received, because I think realistically, we would have been within a few seconds of the Mansfield to Mercedes, and I think they've actually got a good shot at being on the podium at the end, and I think we should have been there joining them. But an error on my side made it a little harder than it should have been to make that happen.
Coming before we go, because in 3 minutes we go into the break. You should talk about your real racing program. Can you tell us already a little bit about the real racing program? Well, we see before you start talking, we see a little replay here from Carl Jansson making the move, unfortunately for you, on Mats. So Mats is falling back now to 6th position. You just saw on the screen before. But your re-racing, quick answers only. As I said, we go in 2 minutes, go into the break. But we should know about your re-racing program as well.
So back in the Mercedes at the Nürburgring. That's what I can really say at the moment. And then I'm working on many other things. Obviously, there's potential to be back in the British GT, which would be great to get something like that arranged. Obviously, with travel being a little restricted at the moment, it makes things difficult. The plan was I was meant to be going back to China, but obviously it's a little hard to get over there right now. So I think I'm staying a little closer to home. Some of the stuff that I'm doing, but hopefully I'll have a busier year than last year, because I'd like to do some more races. Last year was a bit quieter than normal, with only 5 races compared to 20 plus the years before. So be back in green hell. That's the first thing and main thing.
I can understand totally what you're saying, but crossing fingers for you, Adam. Not only in the virtual world of racing, but also in the real world of racing. Thank you for taking the time coming here. Crossing fingers for you. We see Mats is in a fight with Jamo Hertling for 6th and 7th position. And let's see where you guys can end up. I guess he's saving fuel because he's not staying close to the Lamborghini and to the BMWs. But let's see where you guys end up. Thank you very much, Adam, for taking time. And we go into a little break for the that we are fresh for the last 30 minutes of the Nürburgring Endurance Championship, presented by Goodyear. And with the pictures you see here, and that's Mats Togo Hutzfeld in the infight with Jamo Hertling in SP9. We leave you at this time not with a split screen, so now it's your time to get your fresh drinks, getting freshed up for the last couple of minutes. So see you in about 5 minutes for the final stage of the DNLS. 28 minutes of the Digital Nürburgring Endurance Championship presented by Goodyear. And we are back at Mats Torge Hutzfeld. We were talking with Adam Christodoulou right before the break, and he gave us some insights of the strategy, and he said that Mats has to save fuel for the last stint because they are very sharp on fuel, or short on fuel, better say. And let's see how it will end up for them with the penalty they got for pushing another car in the lapping of Adam Christodoulou. That is the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evolution, and that's the Core Sim Racing Lamborghini. They are currently in 4th position, but I just want to remind you, these guys didn't do any qualifying. They were starting last, I think out of the pit lane, actually. And now in 4th position. And they were in pit lane 3 times. That means they started in pit lane already. And so now in 4th, right behind Niels Koch with his BMW M4 GT3. So strong performance of Sindre Setsas and also Carl Jansson. And Jansson is now in the car, putting quite a lot of pressure onto Koch. So now that's the professional sim racers among each other into carousel, and let's see if maybe we can see a Lamborghini on the podium. Right at the moment we have with Goodyear in 1st position, Mercedes AMG GT3 2nd, BMW in 3rd, Lamborghini in 4th position. So we have 3 manufacturers on the first 4 positions, which is amazing for this series. So we have split screen time, and that means we have the fight for 3rd position in SP9 on the right hand side, and we have the BS competition car on a 9th position, which is the SP10 car. They are currently in 3rd position in the championship, Marius Zug and Ryan Barneveld, but they had problems in the early stages of the race. That's why only 9th position, fighting for 8th right at the moment with Christopher Schulz. And Schulz is sharing the car with Felix Wegner, and the team is AMC Siegburg. So that's what we see here. And now we have the situation that both of the fights, they are in split screen and in the huge screen together, because lapping and fighting each other is the call at the moment, while we go on board with Carl Jansson in his Lamborghini Huracan. "24 minutes to go, and still everything is open, while last lap Laurin Heinrich just pumped out 7:58. Wow, you see the slipstream of the BMW making the move. Kai Kashuba on Jansson, and new 4th position for Kai Kashuba. Carl Jansson back to 5th now. And Heinrich, he just pumped out a 7:58.15 in the last lap. Fastest lap of the race. And I just want to remind you, while Jansson is trying, look at this front hood, and he's trying to make the move again on Kashuba on the inside now. The Lamborghini laid on the brakes, and Jansson can make the move, but revenge by Kaschube. No. And that's a perfect fight we can see here in SP9 class. And while we watch the fight in SP9 class, I think there is a guy, he just jumped out of the car in a Cup 2 class, and because his teammate Markus Jirak took over the steering wheel. Welcome, Martin Ascher. And Martin, it couldn't be better for you guys at this race, right? When we remember the fights from last race with a gap now of about 18 seconds, it's just perfect.
Hi, Jan. I almost can't hear you. The input sound is way too loud, but yeah, I think it's going pretty well today. We tried to switch our strategy with Markus doing the qualifying and start and the end stint, but it's amazing how close it is. I think it's the second time that the qualifying is less than 200ths of a second. So yeah, it's a really tight competition.
But you guys, you are outstanding almost every race, and we just heard from Thomas Asmussen. We had him in the interview just in the middle of the race, and he was just saying it is incredible what you guys are doing. They're coming closer and closer and closer, but still you are you, and especially you and Markus, are so experienced on the Cup car. But what does it make to you guys to be so fast? So what is the key for you guys?
Yeah, thanks. It's really close indeed. We are simply trying our best, and yeah, on the Nordschleife in the Porsche Cup car, you have to be so smooth and don't drive over the limit, just below, and try to save your tires. Don't overheat them, and I think the key is just to be very consistent in the end.
When we have a look on the overall standings, you are leading the Cup 2 class by 4 points, around 4 points ahead of H2 Performance. Thomas Asmussen, one of the drivers. Now with the maybe. We still have 21 minutes to go. I know everything can happen, but maybe with another win in your pockets after the NIMEX 3 hours now, it's getting closer to winning the championship for you guys after the next race.
Yeah, but please don't celebrate too early. Never do this. We would be very happy to win the championship, obviously, but yeah, the races are very fun and we enjoy it a lot.
And we are on the Nordschleife, sure. DNLS Nordschleife. And what is it? Was it so special driving on Nordschleife? Because we heard from almost everybody that it's just fabulous. I know the Nordschleife, sure, but I just want to hear it also from the pro sim racers, and I count you as a pro sim racer as well. What is it? Was it so special on the Nürburgring Nordschleife driving there? Because I mean, it's one of the most difficult tracks.
Yeah, the track is amazing. It's so long, so many corners. It goes up and down. The elevation changes are incredible, and you have to really nail every single corner perfectly. And if you do this, yeah, it feels really, really good.
I just got sidekick now. Nothing with racing. Adam Christodoulou. He's listening to the to our interview, and he told me, he sent me a picture of the TeamSpeak, and with an arrow on, you see the Nürburgring participant here. And he said, Martin needs to mute this channel, then you can hear me better. So quite funny that you guys are listening to each other, and that's what Adam just sent me via WhatsApp. Yeah, we are, and I said we are under 20 minutes to go. You are in a quite comfortable, with a quite comfortable gap. I guess Marcus truly is doing the stint until the end.
Yes.
Did you do any special strategy or business as usual at this race? How you did the races before?
There are not too many possibilities regarding the strategy because you're so limited on fuel. You can switch just a few things, and we tried to make 10 laps in the middle stint with the same tire. So when I was driving, I simply tried not to overheat the tires and be consistent. But in the end, it's 3 complete stints plus 2 extra laps, so you don't have too much to play around. But yeah, I think our strategy is in the end, pretty simple but effective.
What is the one of the last questions? What is the race program for you in this year? I mean, we know the special events and everything, and we have one more DNLS ongoing for the season. But what are you driving this year besides DNLS?
Unfortunately, I don't have too much time, so we are really focusing on the DNLS and the iRacing special events. And apart from that, I don't think I can do any other series, unfortunately.
Yeah, you have to work on the sim racing stuff, the hardware too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that your coming to that? Is that your main job to sell, to produce, to develop these parts?
Yes, I'm doing this for around 6 or 7 years now, and it's my full-time job. So yeah, there's a lot of work to do, and we try to create cool products for everybody to enjoy. Sim racing much better.
When I have a look to the right hand side, because there's my rig, I have the connector between steering wheel and my direct drive is yours, I guess. I think it should be yours. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing, and I mean it's you. It's so many guys pushing so hard on the sim racing side. With the hardware and stuff, and there you see the passion for it, and you see the way everything is moving towards. And I think, as you say, you have so much to do. It's unbelievable how people get into it. Not only the professionals, but also the amateurs are one of your main customers. Correct?
Yeah. Glad to hear that. Thanks for the kind words. Really appreciate it.
So Martin, thank you very much for taking the time now, because I know you guys spotting each other every time and talking and strategy and everything. Thanks for taking the time coming here to have a quick chat, and most probably we will have another chat in a couple of minutes. I cross fingers for you that we can hear each other for the podium interview. But first of all, 15 minutes to go, and best of luck for you.
Thank you. See you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Martin Ascher. Ascher Racing sharing the car with Markus Gierak in Cup 2 class. And they are currently leading, and they are one of these guys. They are always at the top of the standings. And we are here while another guest is in the room. So now, today it's like really everybody is coming into the room and wants to talk. I'm really much appreciating it. And while we are here on the still on the fight, Niels Koch and Karl Jansson and Kaschube had to fall back. So that's the fight for the third position in the current SP9 standings. While it's quite settled in front, Heinrich, Ellis, they are separated by 40 seconds, then 15 seconds between Ellis and Koch. then we see the fight here, so everything in front is quite settled. And as we heard from Laurin Heinrich, it's they do not have to go into pit lane as well anymore. So it looks like a lights to flag victory, but just saying with Martin Ascher, everything can happen. We have the next guest, as I said, right in here, and we want to talk with another real pro driver, and not only a real pro driver, one of the most successful GT3 drivers. Not only I know because he's a friend of mine, but he is one of the most successful ones. Just his latest victory and success, winning the 24 hours at Daytona together with Philip Ellis. We heard in the beginning of the broadcast. Welcome, Maro Engel, and now in the virtual world again.
Hi, Jan. Good fun to be racing here virtually again. Obviously, there's a bit of a racing break at the moment, so yeah, good fun.
Nothing to do for Maro Engel, so otherwise you can follow his Instagram. You know, he's always on the road, like every day on another place. And if there's nothing to do, let's go sim racing.
Yeah, I mean, team asked if I was available. I'm still struggling to find enough time to practice. I mean, these guys are very, very good. The level is incredibly high, but it's still good fun, and yeah, I'm slowly making progress as well.
You had your stint. You were right in the middle. You had the middle stint, we just saw. But it's how did it went? How did it go? Was it good?
Yeah, pretty smooth actually. I think you know, no major incidents, which is a success in itself. No crashes. Only I think a couple of or 2 points for slightly leaving the track. So that's success at this stage for me. Yeah, race-wise and car-wise, I think it's not going too bad. I think we'll see who has to stop and who doesn't have to stop anymore. To be honest, I'm not fully aware either. But I think, yeah, we're slowly making progress.
And you sharing the car with Danny Giusa, team manager, driver in person for Haupt Racing, Team Esports. And I can remember, like, I think 2 days ago, on Thursday, we were talking about sim racing stuff with you and Danny as well. And he was just practicing, and you were not practicing. How much time do you have to put into sim racing as practice as a non-sim racer?
Yeah, that's the big problem, really. I mean, you're a father as well, so you know how much time it takes when you're at home with a little daughter, which is great, and I want to spend time with her. And so there's not that much time. I managed to turn some laps last night when my wife and daughter were sleeping. And that was about it, actually, since the last time I participated in DNLS. So I'm quite happy with the progress, but yeah, obviously still quite far behind, still a few seconds behind the top guys.
We always hear that driving in the virtual world is different to the real world, but can you still put it or can use input from real world into sim racing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's my instinct at least, and I think this is the instinct of most real-world racing drivers. That to start off with what you've learned in real, and then a lot of the things, same things apply. But then there are some little tricks and things that you need to find out about driving style here in iRacing in particular, which I think has a unique driving style, and each platform has a different driving style. So I think those are the keys, because at the end of the day, that's what you need to find out to go quick. And obviously setup is the other big part. It's like in the real world, you have to spend a lot of time to find the right setup, to fine-tune your driving style. And right now, for me anyway, I'm still just doing this for enjoyment, and I'm focusing my career on the real world. But let's see, maybe in the future I will have a little bit more time. I'll take it step by step.
Before I come back to you, just quickly update. We had it live on screen while Manuel Weibel with a huge error in Hohenrhein chicane. He went on the grass with the left-hand side a little bit, and then straight over the grass, and then they crashed into each other. I think it was in a Sim RC car, and Weibel was on the roof, setting himself back to the pit lane. Unfortunately, the guys for Undici Scuderia, so very, very unfortunate for them. But coming back to you, Mauro, back from sim racing into real racing, I just said that your latest success, winning the 24 hours at Daytona together with Philip Ellis, Russell Ward, and Indy Dontje. So you as the mentor, teacher, let's say, because they rookies, especially on the GT3 in Daytona, and I know because I was there with you, you were more than happy about that, because I think since 16 it was the first really big success for you in endurance, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Daytona is one of those mythical classic races everybody wants to have on their CV, and as a team, as a manufacturer, we've been trying since a few years to get this success. So we're all very proud to finally have made it and got this exclusive Daytona 24-hour GTD win for Mercedes-AMG and then for ourselves. So it was a great week, or even more than that, 2 weeks, since this year the Roar was on the weekend before the race, which I personally thought was great and gave a great character to the event. And it was fantastic working with Indy, with Philip, with Russell. They all did an amazing job, and everyone sort of knew they had to do their job and focused on their job to get that done. And at the end, it came together for a almost perfect race, I would say. I don't think much went wrong at all in that race. And also the team obviously made a fantastic strategy and had a great setup for our cars. So I have to thank the engineers there and the mechanics of the team. So it was really an endurance race like you would wish for.
Do you plan, or is there any plans for you in the US even more, or do you stay more with the program in Europe?
Certainly my main program will be in Europe, but there is a possibility I'll be doing a little bit more in the US. So I guess, as they say in the US, stay tuned. We're not quite ready to communicate or to announce that, but there is a chance to be able to do more, and I would love to. It's a great championship. The competition is fantastic over there, and let's wait and see.
Can you tell us a little more about your European program, or still to be we have to wait for it?
Yeah, it's being finalized at the moment, and as soon as we're ready to announce, we'll do that. But it'll be a great program again, a very full one, a very busy one again. So really looking forward to that, and in all the faith and trust that's been placed in me over the past years by Mercedes-AMG and by our customer team. So try and go out there and win some more races.
I mean, I think what we all can expect is having Mauro Engel on the Nürburgring Nordschleife for the 24-hour race. I think that's that's my guess. Everything else would be strange. So I think for sure we see you at the Nordschleife for 24.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't hung up my Nordschleife helmet yet. No, it's obviously a fantastic event, and I think that is one thing I can definitely confirm, that I will be at the Nürburgring 24-hour race. It's a race that's very, very close to my heart, as I know it is to your heart. It's just a fantastic race, especially as for German guys like us. It's very special.
Mauro, thank you very much for all these insights. We are now focusing for the last 4.5 minutes on the fight for the third position, as we have Carl Jansson and Nils Koch with the Lamborghini Huracan and the BMW M4 GT3 in the fight. So thank you very much, Mauro. Crossing fingers for you. Maybe and hopefully see you soon. Your car with Danny is at the moment at the 8th position. And So I think it's a good, a strong result for you, even though having in mind that you were practicing one evening for that. So strong performance for you guys. Thank you very much for taking the time, Maro, and crossing fingers for also your real world season.
Thanks, Jan. Take care, guys.
Maro Engel helped a racing team. Build team so he's driving the Bilstein car together with Danny Chiusa, and now we are focusing for the last couple minutes here on that fight. That is Carl Jansson in the Core Sim Racing Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evolution, and behind him it's Niels Koch. It's the VS competition driver in his BMW M4 GT3. It's all up to them now as we are in the it should be the second last lap, as I'm having a look on the timing screen. Laurin Heinrich, the leader, is at Brünchen Ice Corner, so it should be another lap for these guys, so another lap to try for Niels Koch to try to overtake Jansson, and another lap for Jansson to defend against Koch. So that will be very much interesting, and that is the Digital Nürburgring Endurance Championship presented by Goodyear. How we like it, as we have fights for almost the whole 3 hours, coming down now to the last lap, the decider of the podium of the SP9 class. That is the onboard, and the look back from Carl Jansson, and we see behind him, close at his rear end, Niels Koch. Yes, competition is his team, and the new M4 GT3 prototype, his car. And now every time Jansson sees a car in front of him to lap, he's wishing to make the pass as quick as possible. And that's on board with Niels Koch. So I can tell you, Laurin Heinrich just crossed the start and finish line, means he is in the last lap, and that also means, as I said, these guys here have to fight one more lap, one more try. Now Koch is coming closer to Jansson in the slipstream, getting out. He's moving to the very right hand side, not giving Jansson any draft, any side draft, and he makes the move, but now we saw that already. Kai Kaschube did the same move on Jansson, and Jansson could revanche on the start and finish straight. Now they are in Hohenrhein chicane, using the curbs on the inside here, having a good exit. Now using the slipstream, a good exit for Jansson in the Lamborghini is very important. Now using the slipstream, right behind Koch. Koch is going in the middle of the track. Jansson is showing up a little bit on the inside. There's a cup car coming out of the pit lane. And a long and a wide line for Niels Koch, as he was a little bit confused by the cup car. It's the 228 car. And now making space for them on the outside. It's Jansson. He tries to move on the outside of Niels Koch. And Koch stays in front of him. But that is going to be very, very much interesting for the last 23 kilometers. Here again, on board now in the Lamborghini. the real world, you would say, okay, now Jansson has to wait until coming back to the Grand Prix circuit. But in sim racing, it's different. In sim racing, he has so many opportunities to make a pass on Niels Koch. Here, it is not very much possible to make a move, but we saw already overtakes at the section of Schwedenkreuz, for example, or at the following sections, even down into Fuchsröhre. And again, on board with Jansson. No way here at Schwedenkreuz, also at Arenberg, no chance to overtake. He's a little too far away at the moment, and so Jansson is a little bit too far away to make any pass, any move. And at Adenauer Forst, there's not really any point where you can overtake another car. In all the other classes, it's quite settled at the moment. The gaps are quite huge in between, especially the podium cars. Down to Beerseifen. Also here it is not possible. But maybe at Bergwerk. We go to Breitscheid and then maybe at Bergwerk. If Jansson is close enough behind Niels Koch in his BMW, then maybe he can make the move with his Lamborghini from Cora Sim Racing. So Niki Lauda corner, and Bergwerk too far away. Can we see 3 different manufacturers on the first 3 positions, or do we see 2 BMWs and 1 Mercedes AMG GT3? Heinrich and Ellis, that looks at the moment as 1 and 2, but who is gonna be the 3rd one on the podium? Oh, that was a close one for Jansson. He slipped through, but the M4 GT4 didn't really expect to be left by both of the cars. And here we see through carousel. Maybe Jansson is waiting for the Döttinger Höhe, because then once he can go into slipstream and making the move out of the slipstream, there is not really a chance for Koch to make the pass once again, because the way from out of Hohenrhein chicane to the start and finish straight is too short. So maybe Jansson is just waiting for that, keeping a nice distance. I mean, both of these guys, they are pushing like hell for sure, but not or maybe focusing on the gap to keep it stable. to be close enough for the Döttinger Höhe, while Laurin Heinrich is now for BS competition on Döttinger Höhe. So he's only a few seconds away from another win at the Digital Nürburgring Endurance Championship. You can see it, you can follow him in split screen. Once again through Antonius Buche, Hohenrhein chicane, and then we can see BS competition another time on the top of the podium. And here we go. BS competition wins the NIMEX 3-hour race at the Digital Nürburgring Endurance Championship presented by Goodyear, together with his teammate Laurin Heinrich and Reinhard Talva. They are securing their second win of the season. And here we can see the fight for the, in split screen, for the third position, while Philip Ellis for Manfilter Team HTP Windward is crossing the line in a few seconds. And now we can see that Cora Sim Racing Jansson is on the inside, both side by side through Antonius Buche. Now they go into the lowest part, side by side, both still, and Jansson made the move. Jansson made the move, and Ellis second. Now Jansson made the move. Can Niels Koch make a revanche? No, he can't. So we have three manufacturers on the podium for the NIMEX 3-hour race. What a race, what a move, and what a show they presented us here. So Manfilter, Team HTP Windward, Philip Ellis, Jack Sedgwick, and Alexi Iloma in second, and in third position it's Kalle Jansson and Sindre Setsas for Core Sim Racing, Niels Koch together with Felix Quirnbach for BS competition in fourth position. What a race it is! What a race it was. Having a look into the other classes, we have in SP10 or start with SP with Cup 2, we have Markus Jirak and Martin Ascher for Ascher Racing winning, and Thomas Asmussen right behind, so in second position. And we have Jano Buschmann for Utlapal in third position. Having a look into SP10 class, we have Marius Golombek winning together with Pascal Stix, while we see M&J Performance by Promotion, Jan Philipp Springop crossing line in 10th position. So Marius Golombek winning with Pascal Stix for Core Sim Racing the SP10. Tom Valentini is in a second position together with Matthias Schoger for Sim RC. And in third position it's Jordan Kelly for VRA in their BMW. And last but not least, having a look, well, we see here BMW Team Great Britain having a look into the SP3T. Felix Luding is still on the track. Having a look into the sectors, he should be around Carousel. 7 seconds, a little more than 7 seconds ahead of Lars Bohl. And Marcel T crossed the line already. Oh, he's crossing the line now. So everything looks settled. Waiting for Luding and Bohl to cross the line. And then we have all the results at the NIMEX 3-hour race. What a race it was. And once again, we have 3 different manufacturers on the podium with a winning M4 GT3 from BMW, the Mercedes AMG GT3 in second position, and the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evolution in third position. Nima's Race Cars Esports coming home in SP9 on 13th position. And behind there, that's the BS competition SP10 car. Ryan Barneveld and Marius Zug are the drivers. They will not be as happy as they wish, as they had problems in the early stages. Deutsche Payment at Race Union. Car number 287. That's Alex Autumn sharing the car. Sharing the car with Mark Hennerizzi in 7th in the Cup 2 class. And while we see all cars coming over the line, going into the pit lane, we just wait for the first drivers and teams here for the podium interview, starting with SP3T and then going through the different classes. And Luding, just checking the sectors. Luding is in on the Döttinger Höhe. We can see him here. Felix Luding for SimRC SP3T. That's the team he's driving for together with Jürgen Frank. Currently leading the championship there and extending their lead by their victory. Now it's gonna be very difficult for Frozen Speed Full Send Racing. They will finish the race, as you see behind. They will finish the race in second, but it's another gap as they have already 6.5 points gap. It's another extension of the gap between there. So it's going to be very, very much difficult for the Frozen Speed guys. Anything should happen. Anything should happen for SimRC, to be honest. But we will see that. And now, as everybody is in the pit lane, we have the results. BS competition number 89, Heinrich and Talva winning the NIMEX 3-hour race. But as we will start off with the SP3T, so the Audi RS3 LMS. Congratulations to Luding and Frank, SimRC, Frozen Speed, Full Send Racing, Ball and Ledger in second position, and Team Heusingfeld in third with T. Kubinci and Glatze. That's the podium, and we are waiting for the guys to come into the commentary booth. Fourth position, SimRC, second car, Voite and Strehl. Fifth position, Power Team Racing, Wegmann and Flesser. And sixth, and that's all the cars in SP3T, Low Grip Racing Team Schmitz and Scheller. These are the results, the unofficial results as maybe race control. We'll have another look also on incidents that happened. SP9 class, as I said, PS competition, Heinrich and Talva winning, second win of the season. In second position, it's Philip Ellis, Alexi Loma, and Jack Sedgwick. Manfilter Team HTP Winward. Chorus Sim Racing in third. Jansen and Setzers. BS Competition, Koch and Quirnbach. Team BMW Bank, Spengler and Kaschube in fifth. Sixth position, Haupt Racing Team Heusingfeld, Chris Dudulu and Sendkowski, as well as Mats Toge Hutzfeld. Seventh, Haupt Racing Team AM Solution, Denzler and Danny Morat. His first appearance as Mercedes AMG Sim Racing driver. Haupt Racing Team Bildstein, Giusa and Engel. Schnitzelarm Racing, Hertling, Marcevic. And M&J Performance by Promotion, Böckmann and Springop in top 10. Butler Paul Motorsport, Hagnauer Krüger in the 11th, BMW team Great Britain, Biko and Burden. After that incident they had in turn number 1 in the early stages of the race, only in 12th. Nimas Racecars Esports, Rau and Nimas in 13th. Manfilter Team HTP Winward, Müller and Refts in 14th. ERC powered by FSP TÜV Rheinland, Pfeiffer Frönen, Hellerich 15th. Then Keep On Racing, Oren Wischen, Beleziotis, Maszakowski. 17th, Marle Racing Team Philpott and Steib after their issues and their crash, and then a fast repair and penalty. So a race to forget for Marle Racing Team. H&R team by 5-star Franz and Riedmüller. That's the official result, or the unofficial results for the SP9. Now Cup 2, Ascher Racing, Girak and Ascher, H2 Performance, SRT, Asmussen and Lippert, Butler Pal Motorsports, Buschmann, Norvik, W and SE Motorsports by H2P, Wernstedt and Hartrampf, Eibach Sim Racing Team in 5th position, Noller and Alpert. Then we have Racetech Performance, Yellow, Pop and Frauenknecht, Deutsche Payment Race Union, Autumn and Henneritzi, Wolf Motorsport Sim Racing, Wolf, Barnes and Brabsch. Sim RC Cup 2, Osterkamp Hermann, and in 10th position, it's the Team Nürburgring Esports Kirchhoff Schleife. MRS GT Racing at Deutsche Payment Otterbach alone, as well as Rennwelten on 12th position, Rennwelten Pro Team Ibrahimi, and WS Racing Esports Red Lang and Behme. That is the last class. We will have a look at Team RSO with Carstensen and Lorenz. Another win in their pocket. Chorus Sim Racing, Golombek, Stix in 2nd position, and in 3rd position it's Sim RC SP10, Valentini and Sugar. 4th, VRA Racing, Kelly and McManus. Undici Scuderia Weibel just by himself. In 5th, after that incident he had in Hohenrhein chicane. Power Team Racing, Team Gold, Torres and Tarifa. ERC powered by FSP, Ziefle, Montermann and BS Competition, Zug and Barneveld. Racetech Performance, Poyer, Petersen and AMC, Siegburg, Hakes, Hackes, Wegner and Schulz in 10th position. And 11th, EPS Rennsport Esports Steuer Ritter, WS Racing Esports Black, Obermann Schickhuber in 13th position, Keep On Racing, Orange Vision, STS Brock and Den, and last but not least, 14th position Schnitzelalm Racing Youngsters, Voss and Kolb. These are all the results we have while we still wait for the SP3T winners to come up here for their interview, and I will have a check that they come up here. Felix Luding and we'll ask them to come here, but it looks like they are gone already. they are gone already, but we have Jürgen Frank here, and I will just ask him to come to us, that we can have a chat with Jürgen Frank, teammate of Felix Luding in the SP3T. And there we have Jürgen Frank. Congratulations, Jürgen, to your win together with Felix Luding in SP3T. How was the race for you?
Yeah, thank you very much. The race wasn't easy, especially the first two stints. We had some issues with the traffic where the Heusingfeld car got crashed out of the carousel. So the race was ended for